In order to be successful, what does society tell you that you need to do? We're taught to what? Go to school, study real hard, get that good job, diligently save, invest in the stock market, and don't forget to wait and wait and wait. Why? Because this is supposed to be the safest path to wealth as taught by people like Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman. This method, which author MJ DeMarco calls the slow lane. Now, the slow lane is actually touted as the reliable road that we can take for financial freedom. However, upon closer inspection, the slow lane may be more of a slower setting treadmill than a highway to wealth. This whole thing is predicated on the promise of future freedom through investing. It's a marathon. You know what a marathon is? That's running a long distance, right? It's a marathon of saving from each paycheck. Time after time and time again, we save from the paycheck, invest in the stock market, and then we're going to bet on compound interest that it's going to work its magic over decades of investing. The narrative is very simple, which I've been led to believe, and you've been led to believe as well. You must do this. You must live below your means. You must save aggressively and let the stock market do the heavy lifting for you. But this narrative comes with an implicit leash and collar, which leash is hope, and then the collar is deprivation. Okay? Hope, we hope these things are going to work out. And then we deprive ourselves, right? We deprive ourselves from a lot of the things that we want to do or we want to buy. But this is what we're taught to do in order to be financially free. Sounds like fun, right? Well, the underlying philosophy of the slow lane is one of delayed gratification, which again, it turns into this very, very long waiting game. Major life experiences like going on vacations, going out to eat, enjoying life. These are not just postponed, but they're often painted as like being financially irresponsible from these people. You call into the Dave Ramsey show or some of these other shows. Hey, Dave, can we go out to eat? Go out to eat? You shouldn't be seeing the inside of a restaurant unless you work there. Eat leftovers. Travel. What are you talking about? I didn't take a vacation until I've been working for 20 years of my job. Well, the slow lane doctrine advocates for a life of perpetual penny pinching and investing, living poor through all these years with the belief that one day it's going to accumulate into this windfall of wealth so we can finally enjoy our life. We can finally enjoy all the fruits of our life at the age of 70 or 75. But also, the slow lane's premise rests on the assumption that the stock market is always going to provide these consistent returns. We're told 10, 11, 12% or more consistent returns, and that your ability to work, your job itself, is going to remain stable over these 4 or 5 decades. When does that ever happen? Because we've seen recently, the stock market is definitely not guaranteed escalator to riches. Well, why is that? Well, you have market crashes, you have recessions, you have unforeseen life events. Like whenever I was snow skiing, I hurt my wrist. I mean, who knows stuff that's going to happen that's going to cut into this path that they're wanting to take. It's going to disrupt our best laid plans. Now, even if all goes well, this slow lane, it often leads to a retirement dictated not by what we want with abundance, but by basically just whatever is left over after a lifetime of economic conservatism, scrimping, saving, penny pinching. And what's more, the slow lane, it actually positions time as an ally, assuming that it's just this abundant resource that can be leveraged. But time is like the most finite resource that we have, right? And the slow lane, what we're being taught that we must do, it asks us to do what? Trade our time, trade the potential of our youth now for the promise of financial freedom in a future, again, that's not guaranteed. I hope all this is making sense to you. So are you starting to understand now that what you and I've been fed all of these years is a slow lane approach to retirement by its reliance on one thing, hope? Now, all of these things that we've been taught, it requires a near perfect alignment of circumstances. We have to have continued employment, can never lose a job, okay? We have to have a steadily growing economy. We have to have that stable stock market. But you know what? Hope is not a strategy. It's a desire for a particular outcome, not a guarantee of it. I hope I'm able to retire one day. I hope I get wealthy. I hope I can lose weight. I hope I can buy this car. That's a desire for a particular outcome. And what does this do to you? It leaves you vulnerable with your financial future hinging on factors beyond your control. Now, all of these quote financial gurus, which are a lot of the financial planners, a lot of the authors out there, and these big name media personalities, they've really done it right, I guess, from their perspective, because they've built this lucrative industry around this whole narrative that we just talked about. They've actually been, in the book, when he talks about the slow lane, he refers to them as fiscal prostitutes. DeMarco refers to them as fiscal prostitutes, and a lot of their critics have talked to them about, called them this as well. So they've accused them of this. They've accused them of selling this dream of wealth that, about the slow lane, while they're lining their own pockets, regardless of whatever the outcome that we get from doing all these things. They're giving this advice. They're lining their pockets. And I mean, think about it. If one of these people, if they can sell 1 million books, $10 a piece, who cares what the stock market's doing, right? They're still getting bank. And here's the deal. Despite all of this, millions and millions of people have bought into the myth that by living less today, they can live more tomorrow. What if there isn't tomorrow? Okay. We're constantly being taught by these people to, quote, be responsible or plan for the future. They encourage a lifestyle where every dollar must be hoarded, where life's pleasures must be scrutinized for the future costs. $15,000 for a vacation, $10,000 for a vacation. Are you kidding me? And they encourage this lifestyle where you can't even think about doing any of this. And financial freedom to them is always this distant milestone. It's really never a present reality. So the myth of the slow lane is a powerful one. It's a very, very powerful one because it offers why most people are employees. They like that security, right? They like the 401k. They like the health insurance. They like that secure job. They like knowing they can get up and they have somewhere to go to that it's not risky. That's the whole premise of the slow lane. It's very powerful because it has the same thing too. It offers a sense of security. And you know what? This approach may work for some people, but it's also important to realize that it's not the only way. I always like to give people options and then let them choose. I'm not forcing anything on anybody. All the different things that I teach about real estate and passive income and investing in businesses and doing all these other things that I'm doing now, it's not right for everybody. And that's fine. But you know what? At least you have an option and you can choose what's best for you. That's why they call it personal finance, because it's personal. Okay. Again, this approach, this slow lane approach may work for some, but again, it's not the only way. So instead of just saving and waiting all these years, we can actually look for opportunities where we can grow our wealth through our own efforts now and not have to wait forever. Look, here's the bottom line. It's time for you and everybody else to take charge of your financial destiny. And once you do that, and once you have this shift in mindset that recognizes that the limitations of the traditional paths that we've been taught is, you can get over those limitations because you've taken control. You can find new roads to wealth that do not involve trading the best years of your life, which is now, for a future that may never arrive. Now, if you're ready to break free from this play it safe advice, do me a favor. I put together a free download. It's a passive income guide with a link below this video. We can get it started to help you get off the slow lane.